It turns out that that wasn't a gimmick at all, John. The man meant exactly what he said on Trophy Day. Celtic mean business.
When you become champions, then the target on your back becomes even bigger.
Not bad. Celtic only scored 9 goals.
Real Madrid, RB Leipzig, Shakhtar Donetsk.
That was pretty much perfection, wasn't it?
Celtic have beaten Hearts by 4-3 at Tynecastle.
I was pretty wound up by some of the stuff I saw tonight.
It's a proper goal of the season contender for me. These games just take so much out of you.
We need to drop points 5 games out of 7.
Yeah.
So we're going to win the league.
Champions again, ole ole. Champions again, ole ole. Celtic have just won their 5th treble in 7 seasons, Stephen.
And I want everyone to enjoy today, enjoy the summer, and we'll come back bigger, better, because we never stop.
Well, it turns out that that wasn't a gimmick at all, John. The man meant exactly what he said on Trophy Day. Celtic mean business, and we're not even, well, we've just begun the transfer window. That's the good news. The bad news is the fact that we've done all this business and all this news means that I need to see you over the summer. I was hoping I would get a break from you, but it's not to be.
I think it's going to be a busy summer. Yeah, it's been about a month since I've done a live show, a proper news one with an award show. Did a video with Jackie, but I've not been on the channel for a while. It's because there's been nothing much going on, Hamish, but suddenly over the last 24 hours, as soon as the transfer window's open, Celtic burst into life, and there's a lot to talk about, and a lot of it is good things. So happy to be here and happy to be back on the channel.
I think Cameron Carter-Vickers is probably the place where we should start. Around 6:30 last night, almost out of the blue, I thought, in a funny way. I just checked my phone and saw this CV patter from Celtic. It took me a wee minute to work out what it was. Obviously, it came quite quickly, and then right after that, they put the tweet out with the confirmation of the signing of Cameron Carter-Vickers on a contract until the summer of 2026. And suffice to say, this is a pretty big statement of intent from Celtic, given that the transfer window only opened yesterday.
Yeah, I do believe it is, yeah. I mean, the reports on the fee start at £6 million, potentially rising to 10 with add-ons. But it's a significant investment for the club, significant statement of intent. As you say, first day of the transfer window, bang, bring in a £6 million player, get the ball rolling. And I think, Carter-Vickers will prove to be another, shrewd investment from Celtic. I think if you're speaking 3 or 4 years down the line, then I'm sure Celtic can make a profit on the player if he continues to perform at the level he has done in the first season. More importantly for me, Ange is just getting someone he trusts in that defensive position, someone he trusts in that dressing room to build on what we saw last season.
Well, it's that time of the week when I can shut up and let John McGinley do all the talking. And we've got plenty to chat about today because officially, John, the season is underway today, not in terms of actually what's happening on the pitch, but this is where 67 Hail, draw the line, season 2022-23 starts here. Let's look at Celtic's first 6 matches of the season. 6 always seems to be the number people go for. I'm not really sure why that is. The big one there at the top, Flag Day, as I believe it's called, against Aberdeen.
The big thing for me compared to last season is that we're not going to Tynecastle in the first few weeks. We're not going to Ibrox in the first few weeks. We're not going to Livingston in the first few weeks. Those are the things that I look for. Those are tough games for Celtic, as we've seen in the past. So although there are away trips there, as there's always going to be, I think it's a little bit kinder for us this year.
There's a massive opportunity there, isn't there? It's not going to be easy, but I think there's a chance that Celtic went to that first derby with 5 wins from 5. I think that's a realistic possibility. Harry Kewell has joined the club. That was confirmed yesterday. He's coming in as a first team coach. Making way for him is Stephen McManus, who has been moved on to the B team. It just feeds into everything we've been saying about Celtic moving forward next season, not standing still at all. Joe Hart has been given the number 1 jersey for next season. He was wearing 15 last year, but he's now taken Vasilis Barkas, gone but never forgotten's number. He's obviously away on loan to FC Utrecht for the coming season. Joe Hart himself posting on Instagram saying, "Big season ahead. I feel truly honoured to be wearing the number 1 shirt for this special club. See you all soon." Again, the messaging here is key and it's brilliant. You get the impression the players have already moved on from last season. They're no longer thinking about winning the league or winning the League Cup or what happened in Europe last year. All focus is on next year. Benjamin Siegrist, the former Dundee United goalkeeper, who is a free agent. The latest on him is that we are in advanced talks. I was listening to a podcast you did a couple of years ago and you actually mentioned Joe Hart. Is he a guy that you've been following throughout your career when you were younger, and what does it mean to now play alongside him?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a role model. He still is. I still look up to him, what he's achieved in his career and the type of person he is. I think people can only strive to be like him. And for me, over years, he was the prototype goalkeeper. So I very much look forward to getting to know him a little bit better.
Today, let's chat about Alexandro Bernabei then. The most talked about name over the past week or so with regards to Celtic. He is going to become a Celtic player very soon. He may already be a Celtic player by the time you're watching this. Any major predictions you want to make for Bernabei at Celtic? He's going to become our player of the year, something like that?
It's going to be difficult because Celtic had a lot of good players. But I think that he's going to do it well. I hope for that. So hopefully we can get good performances for Bernabei.
We've got Jota over the line, and we've got Alexandro Bernabei over the line. First of all, we'll tackle Jota, Stevie, because I know you were one of his biggest fans even early on last season, and I think both of us tried to defend him during that kind of shaky period he had in the new year, where he wasn't quite contributing as much. And you were, I think people might remember this, but we had a conversation on Hogmanay when the new Japanese players were coming in, and we were talking about the players of the season so far, and yours was Jota, and you were very excited about him. And I've known you for a number of years, and you don't usually get excited about loan players.
Yeah.
And my caution to you was perhaps don't get too attached because it might be difficult for us to hold on to him. Well, here we are, Stevie. We've held on to him. So how are you feeling?
Amazing. I think if you go back to when I was doing the Instagram gig pod videos too a few weeks ago, I was always very confident that we would get him. I went on record saying that I know that he didn't commit, and a lot of people were getting a wee bit panicked about the fact that he hadn't signed already, especially when Carter Vickers signed, and then after that, Jota wasn't committed to Celtic at the time, or we didn't really hear anything other than the fact that he was globetrotting all over the world. But now that he's sort of committed to us, and not only that, it's essentially a 5-year deal, isn't it? It's amazing. It's just such a boost for the club. I think the biggest thing, John, is the continuity, because I really felt we needed to get CCV and Jota in, not just because they're two brilliant players and they contributed so much for us last season, but I think the fact that the continuity within the team was massive. I reckon, the fact that they're winners as well, and also with Jota, it's always like, how they always say in the second season syndrome that defenders or other players will know how to know what to expect from them now. I think it will work both ways. I think Jota will know what to expect from other players, and I think the fact that he'll have a pre-season with us, he'll get these friendlies out the way, and then he'll go right into it against Aberdeen. Is going to be brilliant. He's going to get some reception for the fans. He's a real favourite, and I'm just really happy that we've got talented guys like this on long-term deals.
Definitely, I'm really excited to compete on that level, and I think we created a strong basis last season with the guys we had, with all the lads, and this season it's just another season that we have to do better and better. We know that we are in a competition really strong, a really strong competition, and we just want to do our best Now we just have to be together to get along again and just to fly.
Do you want to touch on Ben Davies? Can I give you 20 seconds? There's nothing in that. I mean, Liverpool Echo were reporting yesterday that we've contacted Liverpool to inquire about his availability. Football Scotland then reporting this is not the case. Mark Hendry, who's quite a reliable source of Celtic news. 20 seconds, David. Is this going to happen now?
No, I'll give you 2 seconds.
On Sunday, June the 26th, at approximately 1300 BST, a satirical video was shared online by comedian Ross Mains. The video, which has now racked up well over 180,000 views, not including reposts, is set to Disney classic Under the Sea and tells the story of the feel-good factor at Celtic right now, with events taking place outside the fictional Parkers. Regrettably, our client Hamish Carton features in the video, which has received widespread criticism against his will. He is seen uttering the words "Mon is Celtic" alongside other well-known figures from the Celtic fan media community. Hamish has no further comment to make at this time, but we can confirm that we are investigating the matter fully. Statement ends. Okay. Sorry we had to start with that, but needs must. Celtic are back.
Hello and welcome to another edition of 67 Hail Hail. And we've got Asim here on for the reaction to the first game of Celtic 22-23. Asim, how are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, great to be back on, John. Hi, everyone. I feel it's been a long summer, so long overdue. It's what we've all been waiting for. But that's enough about the Downing Street resignations. We've got some Celtic chat to be getting on with.
Yeah, forget until that. We could be here all night. So we'll stick to the football. Interesting game today. Not competitive in the slightest, I would suggest. Yeah. I don't think it was ever going to be. I wasn't expecting a tough test from Wiener Victoria. Celtic ran out 7-0 winners, Asim. Not too shabby. What were your takeaways from the game? You know, with the caveat that it wasn't too competitive, the result means nothing, and it probably tells us little about the Celtic season ahead.
Yeah, I think I always kind of approach pre-season with that kind of view that I don't get too excited with big wins, or I remember Tony Mowbray's Wembley Cup win and how excited I got that season, and we all know how that turned out. And then we've had last season getting beat 6-2 off West Ham, and you're like, dreading what's to come. So I never read too much into results and even performances. I think at times I think it is just about getting fitness and getting the new players some action, or younger players and things like that.
Celtic's second pre-season friendly. It was close to being a win, John, a last-minute equaliser for Rapid. Denied us of that. I thought a pretty good workout. Didn't quite get the victory. Plenty of positives, plenty to talk about and improve on. What did you make of it?
I enjoyed it first and foremost. I thought it was a good 90 minutes. It was a bit pre-season-y towards the end, maybe in the last half an hour. But I thought that first 45 minutes was actually pretty competitive.
Well, if I ever make it to 100 years old, remind me not to invite Celtic to the party, because they'll only ruin it. Just ask Bannock Ostrava, who we have just battered. I think battered is maybe slightly extreme, but I'm going to go with it anyway, by 4-2. Ask him straight in, who were the goal scorers? Go on, quick.
Matt O'Reilly.
Quick. Too slow.
Oh, I should have known you were going to catch me out with something like that. It was O'Reilly. It was...
His bottle's gone, everyone. I've got him.
Kyogo, GG and Abada. There you go.
Well done. We're back. Brand new season. The sun is shining. And my great mate Stevie is here. I love you, Steve. Have I ever told you that?
Was that 20 seconds and that's the first lie already? Brilliant. Anyway, are we just going to get this... I'm going to address the £500 elephant here, but sorry, Reeds wasn't here, so we'll just address.
Are you talking about money or weight?
Just go get it out of the way, and then that's it. We're not going to talk about it.
I'm saying nothing. I will leave that up to everyone else. Apparently, they love commenting glasses. I found out last week, so Yeah, comment about Stevie's glasses, I think. You never lose it though, coming back to the ground. That buzz was back. I just thought it was amazing being back in. Pitch is looking immaculate. I mean, there'd be something wrong if it wasn't, being the middle of summer. But it just looked great. And Celtic were magic, I thought, in the first half. You know, I thought Jota was on fire. Matt O'Reilly was a joy to watch. David Turnbull was great. Kyogo was good. McGregor was brilliant. I just really enjoyed watching Celtic in the first half.
Just picked up where he left off, very commanding again. I think you're right. I think not just the first half, I'd say the first 65 to 70 minutes, up until we brought on the reserves, really.
I think we'd have won that game.
I mean, essentially, I know that it's going to go down as a 2-each draw, but the reality was that first team done the job, and you know, up until the 70th minute, if we didn't make all the subs, they were seeing that game out comfortably. They looked really in control, they were great, and it just goes to show, I think the good thing has been, like, after the first game against the regional side, we've really picked up the second game, we picked up the intensity against Rapid, and then the third game against Ostrava, and now this one as well. It's been really intense physical games. I mean, Blackburn came
decent side,
I think
8th in the championship last season. I mean, they're already
finished.
It
was good atmosphere, and generally it's always nice with these games, in it, when it's nice
Pressure's
and dry,
off.
Nice and dry as well, and none of that nonsense rain. Getting a good bit of weather's nice.
See how long it lasts. Probably next week it'll be back to
a few days and that's
it raining. We're kind of sheltered, Stevie. We might be getting another downpour of rain pretty soon. It looks a little bit dark, but that's probably just because we're both wearing dark clothes. Celtic's performance certainly lit up the afternoon, didn't it?
How long were you waiting?
No, it genuinely wasn't planned at all. It's just such a natural. Pre-season is over, away, as some might say. Is that the over kind of whelming feeling for you?
Felt like a game too far today. But
for you, it should say, not Celtic.
No, Celtic got what they needed out of it. It was a fine
Celtic
win.
Were good.
I thought they were a fine win, clean sheet. And
it's going to be one of those days, everyone.
No, it is going to be one of those days. Just for me as a fan, I just felt... You know what, I think the big thing was last week against Blackburn that had that needle to it, as we talked about.
And it was the first game back.
I know, but I'm just saying it didn't feel... Like, it felt like a competitive game. You know, it was for the first 65, 70 minutes. That did have that real pre-season friendly sort of vibe to it, I thought. But and to credit Celtic, I thought we were fine. We never looked troubled at all. We're up against Norwich, just like Blackburn last week, when Blackburn only made their first subs after 60, 65 minutes. Norwich were the same there today as well. So I think, again, they were taking it ultra seriously. But I think Celtic really reduced them to a couple of long-range efforts in the first half, and for the most part, we never looked troubled.
It was good, I think, for us to get a clean sheet today and to win 2-0 as well. It feels like the kind of perfect end point to pre-season. Obviously, none of it matters, as John said the other night. All that matters now is what happens from Sunday onwards, really. But I think you look at that as being a pretty successful pre-season. Unbeaten, again, doesn't really matter, but can't be a bad thing for the team's kind of confidence, their morale. I think, you know, we've seen a lot of really strong performances. I think you're looking at all the players, and there's not really anyone of our main players that you're kind of thinking still needs to get up to speed. I look at Kyogo, and yes, he can probably offer more, but you know, if he scores a hat-trick next Sunday, you're not going to be going, where did that come from? Hatate looked right at it. O'Reilly, McGregor's looked at it from the first game he was back. Centre-backs, I thought Carter Vickers had a better game today. As I've already said, I thought Welsh was for me probably our best defender today. Jens came in, you know, Moyes still to come in, so I think it was good. Aaron, you've obviously played in a couple of positions, mainly as a kind of attacking midfielder in your time in England. With the Socceroos lately, it's been kind of deeper number 6. Where do you see yourself best, and also have you spoken with the manager about where you play?
I've played in different positions throughout my career. From when I played in like a double 6 a lot throughout my career. Also higher up. I'm here to play where the manager puts me.
We spoke to someone who knew you from your time in Switzerland. He said you're very good with the ball at your feet. Is that something that you do think is a strength in your game?
Yes, definitely. I like to have the first pass in the game. I like to create. I like to give as soon as possible the ball to the midfielders in good positions so they can create the attack. And I just like it. I like to be in control and to dominate the game.
Right, everyone, we are now less than 3 days away from the big kick-off for Celtic, at least on Sunday. We're back with Scott McDonald. One big prediction you're going to make for the season now. You have free rein to do what you want here.
I'm going to go all out there and I'm going to say finally Celtic fans will love this one, we're going to get Real Madrid in the Champions League group stage.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Correct. And that's the one that everyone's always wanted, I think.
Hi Callum, how you doing?
Hi John.
You spoke about having to almost take a slap in the face and show personality to overcome the challenges. What's your personal motivation going into a season like this and pushing Celtic forward into new challenges and more difficult challenges?
Yeah, when you become champions, then the target on your back becomes even bigger, and you have to work even harder. You got to go the extra mile. You got to do more. You got to help the team. You got to run harder with your mates. And like I said, everybody wants your scalp, so you have to be prepared for that. You know, you've got what everyone else wants, and to stay at the top, then you got to be super hungry and super motivated. And I think whenever the team takes to the pitch, that's what we have to show.
Well, hello everyone. We're back for a brand new season competitively. We thought we'd go all out for the first video of the season and get two of the channel's big dogs, perhaps the channel's two big dogs in for this. We'll get the formalities out of the way and talk about the football. Stevie, we know you're a hard man to please at times.
No, I'm not.
You're pretty pleased with that today?
Yeah, that's 3 points, clean sheet, as I keep saying. Thought we controlled the game. Never thought at any point we were threatened. Defence was solid, and in general, that's all you can ask for. We're top of the league, where we belong.
Looking down on the Rangers.
I know, you can finally sing that. That was a tap-in one.
That the fact that song was sung, like, Jota was still celebrating and people were singing that song. That was a good moment.
It was. I think people were just itching because did you mention it in one of the pre-season ones we were singing it?
I made this come about, I think.
So, no, it was good. Similar to Stevie, I think that's as much as you can ask for from opening day. Obviously things that we could probably work on and improve as well, but thought we were pretty comfortable throughout the game, and I think 2-0 maybe even more was what would have been a fair reflection. So I think Jota's goal was needed at the time, but overall happy with that performance and result.
Right everyone, we are at Wednesday night. We're inching closer towards the weekend when Celtic will be back in action. And good news, we're back with the OG himself, the legend, Jackie McNamara, for another half an hour of Celtic content. Jackie, how are you? Good summer?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, it's glad the football started back again.
Last week, when we put out our start of season predictions, you may have noticed that there was a name missing, so we're going to throw this right on Jackie. Player to shine this season. Who do you think the kind of player of the year will be this season for Celtic?
Jota.
Right, Celtic are back tomorrow. It's game 2 of the season. Really need to watch what we do that. Don't want to do that to you, that'd be horrible. We're playing Ross County. Well then everyone, just another routine 3 points at Dingwall. No fears at all, no nerves at all. Never in doubt, John.
Never in doubt. Roller coaster, Hamish, that's what Ange says, and that was a bit of one. I mean, genuinely though, I always felt like we were going to get another opportunity towards the end. And thankfully we took it when it came. But I thought that was a really thrilling, entertaining game of football. I thought Ross County gave a good account of themselves. And I really actually enjoyed it from start to finish. It was a tough test for Celtic, but you know, when Celtic come through it, you pick up the 3 points, and there's a couple of fine performances, particularly Jota. Then there's a lot to be happy about.
Today I am in Kilmarnock, glorious sunny Kilmarnock, where Celtic will be visiting tomorrow. Game 3 of the Premiership season for Ange Postecoglou's side. I have mentioned this a few times, I think, this week, but Kilmarnock's actually in my local area, so I thought I would just venture out here early on Saturday morning to give you an on-location preview, because I always like to do that from time to time. Well then everyone, that was a pretty special afternoon. I am just back from Rugby Park, where we saw a brilliant Celtic performance, brilliant Celtic result. We had Jota doing Jota things. We had not one, but 2 overhead kicks scored in the same game. We had Super Carroll getting his first goal for Celtic about 10 months too late, but he eventually got there. Nearly messed it up as well, but amazing. We had Kyle Lafferty getting laughed at. We had Celtic fans belting out Journeys Don't Stop Believing at full time. What didn't happen today, John?
We even had a Bella Ciao. We even had a Bella Ciao chant, Hamish, so it was all good. Fantastic watching here on TV. I'm sure it was even better in the stadium. You usually come to me first, but I want to ask you, just how was the day? How was the atmosphere? What was the feeling amongst the support seeing all those goals go in and the performance?
It was just magic. I mean, the sun makes a huge difference to these things. Turn up in a great mood, it's absolutely roasting. The early goal makes a huge difference as well. I think that's key in these games when you score after, I don't know, was it 7-8 minutes, something like that, and you really kick on from that stage. But I mean, I'm not joking with that intro. Everything did happen today. There was so many good performances. We had sublime goals, 2 overhead kicks. The Jota goal was brilliant. And the thing is, we could have scored so many more. Ange was actually getting quite frustrated in the end of the first half, because we went 2-0 up and then Jota missed a great chance. I think we had another one, maybe O'Reilly. It was a team effort. There was another one as well. And I'm thinking, we could be 5-6-0 up here. Eventually we got the reward for our performance, but it was just magic. I mean, see from a Kelly point of view, what chance have you got against a team playing that well with that football, who has those subs to bring off the bench and further strengthen the margin of the victory? It's just incredible the level this Celtic team have got to so far, and I think there's so much more to come as well. In terms of tomorrow, when we do face Hearts at Celtic Park, a big opportunity has arisen for Celtic, given the result earlier today at Easter Road. Rangers dropped points. This is all of Saturday's results just there. Obviously, the one at the top is the one that concerns us the most. And this is what the league table looks like right now. So an opportunity for us to go 2 clear of Rangers tomorrow if we can beat Hearts. Hello everyone, how are we doing? Hopefully the answer to that question is very well, because we've had a beautiful afternoon at a beautiful, beautiful stadium. Celtic 2, Hearts 0. We've got Asim on. We'll be getting your thoughts on the game. And a very special guest. Will we just let you say hello, Luke, and people can work out where you're from?
How's it going?
You're an Aussie. We've got an Aussie on the channel again.
Maybe.
I thought it was brilliant today. I mean, just in general, the occasion, we've already commented on it. The fact that it was genuinely packed today. Yep. The atmosphere, the first 10-15 minutes was excellent, and obviously we got that early goal.
When that early goal went in, you only seen us kind of maybe scoring a few more.
The stadium was jumping at that stage. Like, I mean, that's probably the loudest I've heard it for a non kind of Rangers game in a while. It must have been a difficult place for Hearts to be at that stage.
Yeah, and you see them. I think the one thing I noticed difference to watching on TV and to being in person is when the ball goes out or it's a quick break, all the Hearts players hands on knees, right?
Yeah.
Cramping, exhausted, and the Celtic boys are like looking, talking, thinking about how they can push more. 25 minutes in, those guys cramping up. And I think, what am I watching here? This is like a clinic.
Scott, how does a player feel leading up to the Champions League draw?
Excited. I remember the first time I was involved in it. I actually think I was out with my father, who was over at the time, in TGI Fridays watching the draw. Can you believe in Buchanan Street? So it still rings well in terms of seeing the draw come through, and obviously they make a big deal out of it now in terms of the whole ceremony, don't they? So it seems to take forever for everyone to come out the pots, but it's exciting, and hopefully we'll see some different sides come to Celtic Park this season than what we have done in previous years. I know everyone's shouting out I said it early on, didn't I? It's Real Madrid this time round. I think even Callum McGregor said it. So that would be nice.
Dave, Real Madrid, RB Leipzig, Shakhtar Donetsk. How are you feeling?
John, I'm absolutely buzzing, mate. I was fully anticipating coming out, and I was having English teams, which I'd never liked playing English teams. I was fully expecting having to go to Italy, possibly to PSG, and I'm certainly not going to go overboard and say that it's an easy draw, but I think it's in the scope of what it could have been. I think it's a very manageable draw, and I'm not one of these people who wants glamour ties. I want us to try and get points ultimately. So yeah, I'm absolutely delighted.
You know what? What's good about this group in particular, I think it's got all sorts of different things with different people. Like the people who want a glamour game have got the Real Madrid thing. The people who are wanting to be a bit more competitive have got other teams to sink their teeth into. It's really a group that has it all for me, which is one of the best things about it. And when you're looking at some of the other groups out there that are looking like real horror shows, such as PSG and Juventus and Benfica, I think was one of the groups, just for example, Barcelona and with Bayern Munich. I mean, those would have been nightmares for us. So the fact that we've managed to escape the total nightmare and given ourselves a really good chance of just giving it a good go.
Pretty good teams we've been drawn with, but there's one headline.
There is a but, indeed, yes. I mean, Real Madrid at Celtic Park, just like everyone. I think that's the one team we've never had over the years. Every time they're drawn out the pot when Celtic are in it in the past, you've always thought surely this is the time, and then it's always Barcelona or Bayern or PSG, always the same old teams. So it's I know we've played Leipzig before, we've played Shakhtar Donetsk before, but Real Madrid is just a standout. And although we were praying for a group that was winnable for us, and I actually know the group is winnable, but some of the games are winnable. I mean, at the same time, you want a bit of glamour, don't you? It's a perfect balance of winnable games, but a glamour tie like that's incredible.
I think the players will be very happy, very delighted. Obviously there's a great football club also in this group as well. That everybody has been hoping for, and it would be fantastic, a fantastic way to compete against them and see what our level is.
Hello everyone, it's Saturday. How are you today? Knackered, frustrated after a full morning spent on that wonderful website Sky Scanner? Yes, me too, but that is all we're going to say about that. Let's just dive in at the main talking point. Finally, UEFA, those wonderful people we'd never criticise, have released the Champions League group stage fixtures, and most specifically for us, Group F's fixtures. And this is what they look like. And yes, right away, the major headline there is in the top line in white. It's Celtic versus Real Madrid. Opening match, Tuesday the 6th of September. It is going to be mega. Well, hello there everyone. What a beautiful Sunday that was today. Not bad. Celtic only scored 9 goals and took 3 points from Tannadice. Just incredible stuff. Apologies, we're a few minutes late for those of you who are watching us live. We had issues with Stevie's camera. It seems to be working all right now, but you may be plunged into darkness at any minute, so we look forward to that, Stevie. Surely even you can't find any negatives from that today.
Oh, the only negatives are I can't really see you that well because you've urged me to take my glasses off as well, everybody, because apparently the screen was reflecting. So I'm at a loss here, but no, not at all. What an amazing display. And you know what? It's quite ridiculous standards, isn't it, Hamish, that some of us were slightly annoyed that we didn't beat a team away from home 10-0. That pretty much sums it all up today.
I was laughing at Dundee United. I don't know what player it was, but away in kind of our defensive corner, the ball went out for a throw in stoppage time, and he kicked the ball away. And I'm just thinking, you're actually time wasting to avoid losing by 10 goals to 0. For me, and I'm just checking myself before I make a major statement, those 7 minutes of stoppage time is the most fun I've had watching Celtic in years. Certainly under Ange Postecoglou. The fans were singing Piling on the Agony. I don't know how many renditions of that, and it just got louder and louder, and Celtic were they just didn't stop. They were going and they were going. Relentless pressure on Dundee United. I don't know how many saves the keeper made. I don't know how many blocked shots we had, other opportunities, and we scored our third goal, and then quickly after we scored our fourth. I know Dundee United are an absolute state And I think a lot's going to be made of that after the game. There's going to be a lot of chat about Jack Ross, and I think a lot of people will probably try to take away from what we saw today from a Celtic point of view by saying, you're only up against Dundee United, the worst team in the league at the moment. But I don't think there's many teams in the country that live with Celtic when we're playing like that, with that relentless pressure. I mean, quality of football. Greg Taylor 3-0 up, sprinting over to the corner to get the ball to take it short. Like, I genuinely, I can't explain it. I felt quite emotional watching that. Like, I was just watching it thinking, this is all I've ever wanted from a Celtic team, is this team who never stops. You're 3-0 up. In the past, we know a player's cruising over there, they're then putting it in and whatever. But this is a team that just wants to keep scoring. And if we'd have had another 3 minutes in that first half of stoppage time, we'd have scored a fifth as well. And I don't know, like I just love this team so much.
It's good to have a kind of mix of options, and I think that's what Sead bring to the squad.
You're not going for the surname now?
Nah, I tried at the weekend and failed, so I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, very good.
Haksabanovic, is that right?
Yeah, very good, mate. Well done. Any of the new signings, when they've come to Celtic, have spoken about the phone call that they have with Ange Postecoglou. How did you feel after that phone call?
I felt very good. It was a good phone call, and we didn't need so many minutes to connect, and after that I just felt that, come on, let's do it now, let's fly now. So yeah, I was only looking forward to it.
I don't think you would have got many Celtic fans complaining had we not signed Haksabanovic and seemingly now Abildgaard. But bringing in both is just a major statement from Ange. Suddenly that deeper midfield role looks stacked. I mean, you've got real options there. What a change from where the squad was a year ago, 13 months ago. It's totally remarkable now. This is as strong a Celtic squad as I can ever remember seeing.
Hello, my good friends, and welcome to 6-7 Hail Hail for another reaction show at the start of this season, which is turning out to be as exciting as ever. Stevie joining me today. No Hamish tonight because he was actually in Dingwall at the game. Lucky enough to watch a 4-1 win, Stevie, and a solid showing into the next round as we defend the Premier Sports Cup, the Scottish League Cup. How are you feeling after that?
Very well. It's good to be on with you again, John. And I think for the team there to sustain that level of performance with 9 changes, there's some going. We could have seen such a drop off, and obviously we've seen it before when you make wholesale changes like that in a team. It doesn't always click, and it takes a while to get going. But the team got settled into it really, really quickly. And once again, Ange picked the right team. We were raving about it before the game, and we're now in the next round. We have now, John, you've said it for ages, to trust the process. We're seeing the results of it. And tonight, with all these changes, not one player looked out of place.
What I'd say finally, just to bring it into whatever Hamish is planning on the channel later this week, is I don't think we could be in a better position going into these 2 games that I've got coming up. It might not go all our way. We might have a difficult time against Rangers. We might have, it'll be a tough ask against Real Madrid, and it might not all go our way. But I think the preparation up to this point from Ange Postecoglou, from the players and the rest of the coaching staff, I think has been absolutely spot on through the summer, spot on through the first weeks of the season, and then tonight with the first opportunity to really, rotate the team and bring players in. I thought everyone who came in responded to the call of the manager and what is expected of them at the moment. And I'm just feeling really good going into these matches. So whatever happens or transpires from here, I'm just really excited and looking forward to what's ahead.
This game has kind of crept up on us quite a lot, I think. Usually, weekend game, the week leading up to it, the Monday, you're buzzing, you can't wait for the games, the days are, slowly going by. This has been a little bit different this week, probably for a number of reasons. I think the fact that the Champions League is coming up, and arguably, dare I say, an even bigger game is coming up in a few days, which is crazy to say. We've also had the transfer window slamming shut. We had the game in midweek, and I think the fact that this game is a Saturday. I mean, when do we ever get a Saturday derby now? It's almost always Sundays, but it's all just led to this feeling of me waking up this morning and thinking, God, we've got a derby tomorrow.
It's weird, and as you said, arguably, it's not every day you welcome Real Madrid to town. That's going to be unique in itself. You had the draw last week, which was really exciting.
Yeah.
Derby wasn't exactly the first thing in our minds. And then Ross County, important game to get through the cup. Everything's just been happening so fast. And then amongst that, you've had transfers. As you said, it's kind of crept up on us. And I'm more excited. I think the minute I seen Parkhead this morning when I pulled round the corner, it kind of hit me a wee bit more that tomorrow there'll be 60,000 of us packing into the stadium. But it's been a weird one. It's happened so fast, and the more morning it will definitely be the same old when it comes to these games. The nerves will hit the stomach a little bit more, but the excitement's there. And of course, as soon as Ange Postecoglou walks out of the tunnel tomorrow, I will be a different version.
Is he playing?
Of Ryan. Well, he's not playing. Well, who knows? Maybe he'll sub himself on for a laugh. But as soon as I see him and the team emerge from the tunnel, Ryan 118 will be in his full derby mode will be activated.
Yes, hello everyone. How are we? I know the answer to that. Amazing, Asim. What a day.
Honestly, still on cloud nine. I was saying to you as we were walking up, the buzz outside as well just now. That was pretty much perfection, wasn't it? Pretty much perfection.
We do these videos, and I'd say this after every victory over them, but we like to have stuff we're going to say. This is, again, just going to be a massive blur because that 90 minutes is a massive blur. What I do know, Asim, is that Celtic were incredible. I mean, the whole afternoon was incredible.
Yeah.
I think we have that 3-0 game last year as a barometer
Yes.
of amazingness. And I don't know if Celtic even beat that today.
I said to my dad, back when Abada scored that third in February, I thought that was like, I could not be eclipsed. Honestly, that euphoria that night, and I was like, that can't be eclipsed. See, when he scored that third today, that was up there, if not better, because, like you said, I think we all predicted a tight game, but to be 3-0 up, flying, the whole atmosphere, like you said, pre-game, I thought it was just incredible. And when that third went in, it was rocking. And I think, did Ryan 118 say yesterday?
Don't give him any credit.
At half-time, and it was bang on.
Genuinely though, everything like he said and everything so many people said kind of came to fruition today. I mean, a lot of people will look at that score and be pretty surprised, and listen, we're euphoric, but if you are totally surprised at that scoreline today, you have not been paying attention for the last year, because this is what Celtic have been doing. And a scoreline like this was always in the offing. The second goal, I mean, the best chip in a derby since Larsson.
Yeah.
It's such a Larsson-esque finish from Jota. I mean, the ball from O'Reilly is brilliant. To see the ball first of all, then to pull the pass off. The first touch is, immaculate.
Yeah.
And the finish is out of this world.
All three bits of play, I thought Callum does that so well. The quick free kick, I think that's such a feature of our play now. We catch teams off guard by doing everything so quick. So it was a quick ball through, and then O'Reilly's pass, sublime, and then the finish, and then the celebration as well. Jota going over it was just, I tweeted there, it was one of my favourite kind of derby goals in recent times, because it was just like every bit of it was just perfect. And then 2-0 up, and the place went wild again. So, in terms of just where we're at as a club, I can't remember, even under Rodgers, we weren't up against much domestically, like in the 5-1 game against them, as much as it was brilliant in the 5-1 at Ibrox as well. To me, that's more satisfaction today, because, we're playing against a Champions League team, we're playing against a team that, went to a Europa League final last season, and we're just washing them away. So this is as strong as it's been for a long time, and Europe is a test now, but I genuinely wouldn't put it past us to pull something out of the bag on Tuesday night as well.